If you're a B2B service business, cold email is still the best way for you to start and scale your business and get to $100,000 per month. But the big problem is it's changing, and it's changed a lot in the last 1 year, and especially in 2026 with the advent of AI everywhere. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what is going to save you from landing in the spam inbox, and the same tactic that I use to get 20% reply rates on my cold emails to prospects, as well as the tactics that our boy Alex Hormozi uses to get incredible reply rates to his cold outreach. So let's dive into the video here, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be burning all the domains, destroying your brand reputation, and destroying the inboxes that you take so long to set up. So you can see I pulled a bunch of stuff from Reddit. Cold email deliverability is becoming such a black hole. How do you deal with sudden drops in email deliverability rates and sending thousands of emails but getting zero replies? It's something that I hear all the time from founders when I get on calls with them. They tried cold email, it didn't work. They sent thousands and thousands of emails and closed zero deals. How can this be? Right? So here is a snapshot of some of the stuff that I do. And if you look at my Instantly account, you can see we experimented with a bunch of stuff. But mostly we get 21% reply rates, 25% reply rates, 17% reply rates. And this is at scale, mind you. Like, this is, let me reload so you know that it's real. This is at scale. Like if we look here, we have generated $1 million in pipeline with this one campaign. What would that do to your business if you had 300 opportunities? If you had 300 qualified leads asking to speak with you about your offer? How would that change your business, right? And so for us, this is worth $1 million in pipeline. Now, what I want to show you is how we did that. And look, if you want to skip this video and you just want me to set this up for you, then you can just go to the first link in the description, which is dopaminedigital.io. You can watch this quick video breaking down my system and then listen to some of the people that we've worked with, like Adrian, who is the founder of Ripple, and they went from zero leads and zero pipeline, relying on referrals and affiliates and events, to now having a pipeline that's so full of leads that they've asked me to actually turn it off because delivery is now their main concern, right? So causing them to have too many leads is what this strategy will lead to. And the same thing with Dan here. Quality leads daily. I suggest you actually go and watch these case studies. They're like 15-minute interviews with the founders and how we're able to use this exact system to completely fill their calendars. The silent shift that is happening over the next year is that inbox providers like Gmail and Outlook are enforcing new rules. They're using AI in every place they possibly can. So they have powerful AI spam filters which can detect emails that look like a pitch, understand the context, and so you can't get around things by just removing keywords anymore. Plus, what you'll find is that AI is now summarizing the tops of the emails. Right, so the old blast and follow-up strategies are being heavily punished, and they're resulting in bans, blacklisting, deliverability issues, and so less sends per inbox, because what used to be okay is you could send 100 to 200 easily. Now it's more like 30 to 50 max, more like 30. Okay, so here is what the gurus teach, right? So go and buy a third-party lead list from Apollo, and then you load it in and pitch in the first email. So these are 3 emails that I pulled. 2 are from spam. 1 landed in the inbox. But if you use spammy keywords like this, if you pitch in the first email, it's very hard to land in the inbox in the first place. So you can see here, would you be interested in acquiring a database of decision makers, blah, 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 key industries, titles, which if you're interested, please let me know. Okay, so it's clearly just they see that I use certain keywords on my LinkedIn, and then they scrape me, blast. I'm reaching out to see if there's anything you would like to create. Like, there is no offer here. It's like, hey, I offer these services. Would you like me to do some of them for you? I can be a service provider. So there's no offer. It's really weak. I'm reaching out to see if there's anything you'd like to create. I'm a web developer, and anything you can imagine at very affordable prices. Just think about receiving this and thinking, I now need to sit and think about what I can potentially ask them to create and put together an offer almost for them and say, okay, well, I want you to create this AI app for me that's going to be able to do all of these things and have all of these benefits. And then we need to go backwards and forwards about a price. Just think about the friction that something like this creates. Right? So I wanted to show you a bunch of different examples. Here is a commoditized offer. Here is just literally selling a service. And here is what I talked about before, where AI will give you an overview of what the email is about. So I will no longer read the email. Just think about over the next year, your emails, even if they land in the inbox, and even if they're relevant, and even if you've got a fantastic offer, your prospects will not read the email. They'll just skim these bullets here. So Anthony, shout out Anthony, he emailed me and said, this landed in my inbox. If you or your clients send outbound emails to big enterprise businesses, it's probably been a struggle to land in the inbox since Microsoft added their new spam policies. Yes, that's why I'm making this video. Our email platform is designed to hit Outlook inboxes due to high reputation, dedicated IPs, blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff that sounds really fancy. And then he leaves his details here. And then he followed up again. But look, the reason that this is failing is because everybody and their mother can set up basic cold email infrastructure. And so it's very, very easy to blend in with the hundreds of other emails that I get every single day, and I'm sure you're sick of it, and you probably think that cold email doesn't work because it's never worked to capture your attention. It's one of the biggest objections I hear from founders is that I've never purchased anything through cold email. It's spammy, yuck, I hate it. And so all of these AI tools like Instantly, like Smart Lead, like all of these other things, are causing this market to be incredibly saturated. And so people can smell cold email from a mile away, and now you've even got AI filters on the inbox, stopping them from even landing and stopping the prospects from even reading the emails. So you really, really need to have a better strategy. So if you keep doing what you're doing, here's what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months with these new filters, with this new AI, with the way that we are going in 2026. Reply rates are going to continue to drop for you. Domains are going to burn faster and faster. You're going to open up your inbox and you're going to see 1% reply rates, whereas the other week you were seeing 10% reply rates and you don't know what's going on. You will hire somebody like Anthony to do the deliverability stuff, but it'll just be a band-aid on a bullet wound because the core fundamental principle of your outreach has not been solved. You'll need more inboxes to just stay flat. You won't have that parabolic growth. You won't have something like Adrian from Ripple here who've said, hey, we need to chill out on the sending because we have too many leads coming in, right? We need to build out the team so that we can deliver all these leads, right? And again, watch this video where he talks about something like that, I suggest. So you'll just send more emails and have fewer conversations, and cold emails will just continue to feel random and unreliable. It won't be this predictable growth engine. So you don't need more inboxes, more fancy AI tools, more templates, more volume. You just need to change the way that you think about cold email first. So here are the 5 fixes, and then I'm going to talk about some of the Hormozi stuff and what we do. Stop treating cold email like ads. This is something that's really important because when you send out an email, a lot of these people are just trying to get impressions and eyeballs. But what they're doing is they're loading all of the stuff into their software and they're blasting it out and they're going, okay, it's just a numbers game, 10,000 to get 1 sale. But stuff like that may work on Meta where you are guaranteed to get in front of the eyeballs, but with email, oftentimes you're sending out an email, but it's not even getting delivered. And it's not even getting opened. And if it does get opened, it's not even getting read. And so it's a very different battle than ads. Ads, you need to stop their scroll, capture their attention, open a hook, and pique their curiosity and get the click. With an email, you need to get it delivered, then you need to get it opened, then you need to get it read, and then once they read and understand it, you need to get them to reply. And so there's many points of friction with cold email. And it's something that people get super lazy with, and it's something that you can easily overcome with a couple of the fixes that I'm going to give you. So it's not message, pitch, call. It's message, conversation, context, then call, right? Fix number 2 is to stop targeting broad industries because everybody is different. With some of the AI tools that exist nowadays, you can get pretty specific, like especially if you're using Clay, you can understand what people are doing in their business, what situation they're in, what triggers they might have, what time. So if they've just raised funds, you can send them slightly different emails. If they've just hired sales reps, you can send them slightly different emails. If they've just launched a feature, if they've just changed positioning, you can do all of this with Clay, which is what we use, which is this super expensive, fancy AI software just to say it pulls in data, allows you to create context and understand it, and then organize it in a sheet and export it and pull in APIs. And, we don't need to dive into that. But essentially, you can do all of this within something like Clay. And then this is a big one, but stop using AI to write your emails, because I understand that AI lets you write emails faster and more professional and easier. And yes, I've just said you can use AI with Clay to do some stuff here, but that's all about understanding context. What I would suggest is that you use the AI to understand context of who you're speaking to and what types of things you can say, but don't use AI to write the actual copy. Because the AI spam filter will understand that it's an AI email and then you will go straight to junk. Instead, use AI to find context, use AI to surface insights, use AI to identify relevance, and if you absolutely must, use it to write the shortest email possible. But what I would suggest is that you figure out the best 1 to 2 lines max that gets the most responses and try to write it manually. So, as an example, on the campaign that was getting a 20+% reply rate, this is what I wrote. Hi, Karen. Thought you might be a good fit for a podcast I'm producing with leaders in the consulting space. Can I send you more details? Super basic, 1 to 2 lines maximum. I've done some research on these people, and I'm not reaching out with a sales message. I'm reaching out with a lead magnet, and it's very, very easy to reply to this. Can I send you more details? Yes. Are they committing to being sold something? No. Is it coming back to this one here? Is it like this email where Anthony is asking if he can send a short 4-minute video explaining how it works? Well, no, because what I'm committing to here, if I say yes to Anthony, is that I'm interested in your process. I want you to sell me. And then I need to turn it down, or I need to make a decision. When I'm talking to the people here, I'm saying, hey, do you want a bunch of value? I'm going to promote your business, and I'm going to give you content in return. Can I send you more details? this is a very frictionless way of generating extraordinary amounts of positive replies. Then we have a whole bunch of systems and stuff like that that go in the back end and qualify them and book them in the calendar and follow up and nurture them and blah, blah, blah. But today is just about how things are changing in 2026. Like, can you see the difference where I'm making a really simple, straightforward, easy to understand offer. I'm not pitching in the first email. So it doesn't trigger spam filters because I'm not selling them anything. It doesn't trigger resistance, and it doesn't get people to delete the email. I have replaced it with a lead magnet, which is one of the principles that Hormozi talks about. He's like, provide big, fast value. And so in this email, I'm talking about inviting them on the podcast, giving them exposure, distributing that podcast content across my network, and also giving them clips of the content to them. So it's like a done-for-you content engine. They just come on, talk about their business. I create 5 short-form clips that they can post on their LinkedIn, and they can now look like an authority. And so either you can, now if you don't want to do the podcast, either you can diagnose a problem, so like a free audit. This is a little bit more difficult to do in this day and age because people are slightly hesitant to be like, yeah, come and like look through everything. What I would suggest is that you reach out with an audit already done. Hey, here is a custom breakdown of all of the things that you're doing wrong and how you can fix it. And by the way, I've already fixed it, and here is a solution. Let me know if you want me to implement this. Otherwise, here is this yours for free. You can give them a taste, so some kind of free trial, or you can sell them one step of a multi-step process. So what I'm actually going to be experimenting with is if I can go with a more direct approach and say, hey, we set up the cold email infrastructure, and we've already done it for you, and there are leads already coming in. Would you like those leads? That's something that I'd really like to test, like to skip all the sales stuff and the trust and the authority and be like, hey, we've already done the work. Here is the result. Do you want more leads? Because they are right here. So this is an idea that I've had recently that I really want to start testing. And so I can already have completed one of the steps in a multi-step process. So imagine opening your inbox and seeing, hey, Jordan, I have 5 people who want to work with you already. Here is the proof. I've set up the email infrastructure for you already. No cost. All I want is your business. Would you like to talk? Otherwise, here are the leads. Go for it. Imagine how powerful that would be. So that is a high quality lead magnet. Now, the podcast method works really well as a blanket lead magnet because the value is really easy to understand. And people feel stupid saying no to it, especially if they've tried a bunch of other things and they're founder-led, so it's a great fit for what we do. So instead of just offering something good, offer a level of service or product that others actively charge for. So it's going to cost several $100s to set up some of the stuff. People charge money to come on podcasts and to create the content that we give them for free. And so it's very easy to understand the value exchange, and that's why it works really well. And again, if you don't want to do any of this kind of stuff, just go here, click this button, fill out a form. I will audit your entire business and see if something like this is a fit for you. I'll get on a call with you, and I'll walk you through the whole process, and I won't charge you a dime, which, by the way, is a lead magnet. Now, so the goal of email number 1 is not the call. It's to start a conversation and just to get it opened, read, and replied to. And then I have been guilty of this in the past, following up a ton of times, and the money, yes, is in the follow-up, but these just checking in, hey, quick follow-up messages tend to not work very well. You can keep it super simple, but one of the best follow-up messages that I send is just, hey, would love to have you in the podcast. Can I send you more details? And so sometimes, because not all info is perfect and people's inboxes are set up slightly differently. Sometimes people say that they missed the first email and they reply to this email significantly higher than the first one. Like if I look at at some of the reply rates here, I'm getting 7% reply rates on the second step email, right? So, like, pretty good. Pretty darn good. And this is on this. This is across this one. So, like, the first email is getting opened and replied to 7%. The second step is getting replied to almost the same as the first step. And so don't follow up, but don't be spammy. 3 to 4 times is usually what I try to send here. And if they don't reply here, what I can also do is message them on LinkedIn. And if they don't reply, I'll either switch channels. I will try to be a bit like different or scroll stopping, especially if I reach out on LinkedIn with a different message. And my follow-up needs to be relevant. You need to add context, provide more insights, or pique interest and open a loop that gets into the reply. So look, if you want help setting up cold outbound, you don't want to be stuck figuring out what works and what doesn't, go to dopamineDigital.io, fill out the quick form. It'll take you 2 minutes. I will audit your business. I will put together a growth plan for you, and I will deliver it within 72 hours without getting on a sales call. And if it makes sense for us to get on a sales call, I will get on a sales call, and I'll break down the entire thing and put together a 12-month plan for you. And then if you want to work together, we can do that. But not until I over-deliver a bunch of value to you. So go to dopamineDigital.io, click this button, watch this video, read some of the case studies, see other businesses that we've been able to do this for, and flood them, literally flood them with qualified leads, so much so that they have to say, hey, turn the pipeline down a little bit, this is too much. So if you want that problem for your business, click the link in the description, and thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.